say, more power to you. I mean, the films are liked by half the people. They're hated by half the people. It's the same thing with the critics. I mean, all the Star Wars films have been trashed, and all the Star Wars films have been praised. So it's very hard to say, well, I'm going to take this group and say, they don't like it, therefore I'm going to change it. I mean, I'm making the movie that I think is appropriate, that I'm doing. It's not a market research. I'm not like a studio. I do what I want to do. I don't check it, with an audience or check it with anything. I say, this is a story I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell it for very personal reasons, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I went and decided I would tell the backstory, it was a very difficult decision at the time, because I figured that I was done with Star Wars. I didn't want to do Star Wars anymore. But then it technically became possible to do it, and I had this backstory. And the backstory intrigued me because it kind of turns the whole series on its head, because the series was really about Darth Vader. And people kind of have gotten that it was about Luke, but it's not, and it never was. And people would ask me back then, they said, what's it about? I said, well, it's about Darth Vader. In the first film, obviously, they didn't even know who Darth Vader was. Is he a monster? Is he a man? What is he? And you got to remember that originally, the first three was actually one movie. So you would sit down in one piece, and that whole thing that is now three movies would be told in one piece. So you wouldn't have it broken up. And so a lot of the things like You're My Father and the fact that he kills them and all that, that's the climax of the movie. And I wanted to start in the middle. I never really intended for the backstory to be told, but then later on I said, well, if I went and did the first three, then it would sort of give you a stronger sense of where all this is coming from. I kind of told it backwards. You don't feel sorry for Darth Vader until the very end. But if I tell you the backstory, then you're sorry for him right from the very beginning, practically, because it's his story. And the relationship of the kids is very different.